Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Afterhours podcast with Karam today.
Our third ever guest.
Karam, hello. How's it going?
I'm going great.
You don't very sound great.
No, I'm just pumped.
Alright, well, Karam, tell us about yourself.
I'm in year 12.
Really?
And I do 6 ATAR subjects, and
Impressive.
I do music.
Music. Funny you mentioned that. We're going to talk about music today. So what instruments can you play, Karam?
I think it's been mentioned that I have a killer ukulele repertoire.
He does have a killer ukulele
The Riptide. He could play the
Riptide. The
Riptide.
Riptide, that classic, yeah.
Yep. I can play the trumpet.
Ooh.
And I can play the piano. And just this week, I've decided, you know what, it's my last year, why not? I chose to learn the saxophone this year. I haven't started yet, but I'm starting next week, just because why not?
Aren't you a connoisseur of the kazoo?
That is one of my other instruments.
Taught me how to play.
I've seen you play the kazoo. You're pretty good.
Let's not talk about that one. Let's just stick to the...
For everyone listening at home, Karam was the one playing the trumpet on Anzac, on the Anzac Day service.
Yes.
It was good too.
So yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Thank you.
Roman.
Yeah.
What instruments do you play? Considering this is music.
I play the most common instrument. It's a difficult one. But you know, everyone's got one of these instruments, and I like to think that I'm one of the few that can play well. That's the instrument of the human heart.
Go on.
Deep.
It's deep.
Tell me about it.
It's difficult. It's there. Everyone has one.
Yes.
And it's easy to... I mean, it's hard from the get-go. You have to open yourself up, really know where you're going with the instrument, and take it to where it's never been gone before. It's really undiscovered, but yet so discovered.
So how does one play the instrument of the human heart?
Oh, it's not like other instruments where you can get in there, look at some sheet music, know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like you're creating your own symphony right there and then.
In what context?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
When would you use this instrument?
Play someone else's heart, for instance. It's their own symphony right there and then. When you connect with another person.
So you're saying
I like
you're
that.
so good at connecting with people that you connect with them on an inner level, on a musical,
and
instrumental level.
It is music because of what is being felt. The same thing that people often
That emotional
feel.
response.
Exactly.
Are you suggesting an ulterior definition of what music is?
That's actually, yeah, are you?
Am I?
I like where this is going. I've never thought about it that way
I
before.
thought you were just gonna say.
Neither have
I
I.
thought you were just gonna say I play bass and.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, I play bass.
I know. I didn't want to say that because then it would seem very inferior to everyone else's ability. So.
So when you are in love with someone,
Okay. Yep.
it's like you have like a grand symphony going on.
Yes, a
between
duet. Much like what's the Elton John song with the "Don't Go Breaking My Heart"?
Don't go breaking
Yeah,
my
it's
heart.
just like that song. I wouldn't if I tried. And then it's
Oh,
just like
honey,
that.
if I get restless, baby,
I
you're
can't
not
remember
the
that.
kind.
Bow, 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 bow.
Know it.
Don't
Okay.
go breaking my
I love
heart.
Elton John.
Oh, I love him too. The new movie's coming out soon. I hope
It
it's
is.
good. I hope it
I'm
pays
not
its
going
respect.
to watch it, but
Oh, I probably won't. But no, I probably I mean, I might. If I'm not doing anything on the weekend, you know.
So today's podcast, we're doing a little bit differently. We're talking about just one theme, that of which being music. And yeah, we'll have questions kind of coming off that.
Wait,
You got what instruments you do?
Oh,
yeah,
what
about
do
you?
I do?
Yeah.
what about me?
What about Nathan?
What about Nathan?
Alright, Nathan, you go first.
Nathan, go first.
I play a broken guitar.
What does that mean?
Oh, he does.
It's
Yeah.
missing 2 strings.
It's missing the
But
B
he's
string
still
and the high E
killer
string.
guitarist, nonetheless.
I play Smoke on the Water. Like only the first 5 notes.
Not even in the right key, but
Not
yeah.
even in the right key, no. I don't even know how to tune the damn thing.
I respect that.
Yeah, what do I play? I play a little bit of guitar, a little bit of bass, and a little bit of piano. Those are kind of my main three.
It's not a little bit, is it? It's every night, isn't it?
I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of stay up playing piano late at night.
Same.
It's the
Same, I love
best
it.
time to play
I love
because
it.
like it's dark, like it's quiet. You're just like there with yourself and the piano.
Yeah.
You just
No-
get so emotionally
yeah.
invested in
No
this.
shame, but I love playing
Yes.
classical. Like, that's my jam. all those classical
Really?
music. Yeah.
Well, what songs? What pieces?
Well, I play Clair de Lune, and I've learned about
Is that French for something?
it's French for moonlight.
Oh,
Yeah, the more you know.
the more you know.
That wasn't
de
that
lune.
complicated. It has loon in it.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I can play like 2/3 of that. A funny thing, I can also play a song called Moonlight Sonata, but that's by Beethoven. Yes.
The big dog. When it
Yes,
comes to
that's a
classical.
classic. I'm also learning a song called Un Sospiro by Franz Liszt, and yeah, just all them classical songs.
I think we're going to talk about classical music a bit more today. So, should we just like kind of define it now? And like, all right, yeah. So what characterizes classical music?
Okay, so generally you don't really see too much vocals. It's mainly instrumental, like not limited to, but usually piano playing and also like
Piano,
orchestras.
violin,
yeah, like
cello,
orchestra music, and it's usually got a really huge variety of what you hear. Not in the instruments, but in like the type of music. Like there's lots of different types of songs in the classical.
Yeah, I get what you mean,
Like,
but for people at home, you don't really have a musical mind.
Well, generally
what is
with
that?
like genres, you've got pop. You've always got like just like usually got like 4/4 rhythm and like bass on like guitar and drums and like fourth beat and everything like that.
Yeah.
Classical,
Like the most basic, like bland song you can make is like chords, playing strumming on a guitar, a bass just playing the bass note of that chord for every 4 bars.
I think
and then like a
classical
melody
music,
which
yeah.
you sing.
Classical
over,
music, for me, it feels like
it's much more colorful. And
it feels like
it's very layered. I think
it feels like it's the musician expressing just really complex emotions.
Yeah,
that you just wouldn't,
definitely.
Personally, I think you wouldn't usually get out of other genres. Not always, but classical feels to me like the most complex.
It's very
genre.
intellectual music. I mean, that
Yeah.
sounds kind of what's the word? Arrogant, but I think it's true.
I wouldn't say like it's like only for intellectuals.
No, I'm just saying like the composition of the music, the arrangement. It's very epic. Yeah.
I'd say it's all about emotions and really complex emotions and understanding it. And I think it kind of gets a bad rap for being just some like
boring.
Boring, like I don't know, just people just don't usually like it.
You
They
do
like
have to put
vocals.
effort into listening to it to get a response out of it
You gotta actually
Definitely.
pay attention to what you're hearing,
and what's going on musically.
and you just gotta like just listen. If you're like focused and listening, it's like it's a full experience.
It
I'd
is.
say,
It's like
songs.
going into another universe.
What would you say, Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on classical music?
Isn't it dying?
Yeah, it is, but
Yeah.
that's because it's not really. It's kind of dying.
It kind of
Well, the
died
thing
when
is
all
that-
the
yeah.
back in the 17,
The thing is that all the classical music I'm talking about, the ones I love, were made by like
Early 1800s.
Beethoven, Franz Liszt, all those. That was in like 1800s, 1900s.
Yeah.
So all the ones I've never heard of like classical music in 2015 or.
There is one guy
20,
called
20,000.
Trevor Kowalski, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's not on the same
Yeah.
level as Beethoven.
The majority of classical music, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's kind of dead unless new classical songs come out. It's kind of dead. It's like that era of music, and it's appreciating music produced from that era.
Because back in those days, there was no pop music, there was no rock
Yeah.
music. Classical music was
Pop
the
music.
pop of that time. So yeah, so it's only natural
Yeah,
that
the popular. Wow.
Yeah, popular would have been classical.
That's interesting.
what you just realized pop is popular.
No, it's just interesting.
I think I don't even when people say popular pop music as a genre, I get kind of upset
How come?
because it's not really a genre. Because the genre changes every 10, 15 years. It used to be rock and roll, it used to be disco, and now it's I don't know what it is now.
I think
It's-
popular is just what's on the radio.
Yeah, it's well.
What's
So
making
what-
the most money? Like
Yeah.
hip hop at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Like, what do you hear on the radio? Like 92.9.
I don't listen.
Taylor Swift, a bit of Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
but we've already discussed her on a previous podcast. More alternative pop.
I went for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So classical music. What were we talking about?
thoughts on it?
Yeah.
That's what you're on about.
Yeah, general overview is what we were doing.
So what
Yeah.
is your experience with classical music, Roman?
I've seen some of it played live.
Yeah.
We actually went one time.
Yeah.
What was that? Where was it? Was in the city.
It was like I can't remember. It's right next to the courthouse, and it's like some special name. I can't remember.
We went to go see it was an opera singer and a pianist, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
four singers and a pianist.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it changed. Yeah, but that was super good.
Yeah.
It's different. You got to hear it live because if you hear it on Spotify, you get bored. But when you're actually there, sitting down, listening to someone in
And you
real
can
life
see
doing
them.
it, it's much better.
Yeah.
It's much better experience.
I feel that's the same with all music, really.
Yeah, it is.
But
actually.
but especially with classical. Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, the thing I like about classical music is, as we've already talked about, you have to think about it and like kind of imagine what the music's doing in your head.
Yeah.
And I like that because I don't want to like sound like, ooh, look at me, but like as a person who's interested in music and trying to get like a composer's point of view on music, I think classical music's really good for that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, I'm not. We're not trying to discredit
Yeah, I
people
know.
who don't.
yeah, if you don't like classical music or you're not musical, like we're not trying to be like you're inferior, but yeah.
You know, I just enjoy I mainly enjoy classical music because it really, it like brings out emotions that you didn't really, that are like you didn't really know were there.
What are these
was there.
emotions you're feeling?
Like, you know, I watched this like documentary
yeah.
on stuff like that, and it was talking about some guy whose brother died, and he was saying after he died he just didn't know how to feel, and he just like, and then didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then once he was listening to classical music, he was saying when he was thinking about his brother, he was actually able to like cry for the first time, and I don't know.
When listening to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's what.
So the
his
music
experience-
brought out the emotions
Yeah, well,
of sorrow or whatever
just
he's
for that
feeling.
for that
For
person.
that person, yeah.
That's what classical music meant to them. So.
Wow. But yeah, it's not just classical music that's layered. I don't know why, but this song, the less I know, the better. Tame Impala. Whenever I listen to that, I find myself kind of floating in waves of like, of musical. What's the word? Of just music.
Yeah,
It's very layered and what's his name? Kevin Parker uses a lot of techniques.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
go
yeah.
on.
That's it. Yeah, no, I like it. It's really interesting in how it's got really little vocals, but a lot is going on with the non-vocal parts of the track. Like the bass line becomes a melody at one point, and like it just.
There's a lot of
interesting.
techniques going on. Should we get into that? Like, because that's kind of need to delve into music theory, and I don't think many people know. But yeah, yeah. So Karam, what's your favorite song of all time then?
Okay.
Let's jump in the deep end.
Just to finish off with the I think you guys will choose a different genre, and then we'll move on when you guys choose. But
Yeah.
mine is a classical song, of course.
Boo. I'm joking.
And we'll move on to different genres after this.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite is by the same guy, Franz Liszt,
Ooh.
and it's called. Sorry to my German viewers out there. Liebestraum.
Whoa, nah, you butchered that.
Yeah, I probably
No,
did.
no, no,
Sorry,
I know.
Jojo. I probably wasn't listening to this.
Shout out to Jojo. No, he said he liked the podcast. He wants to be
Oh,
on it.
okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, then he'll hear the pronunciation.
Yeah.
What's your favorite, Damien?
Oh,
This is a very hard question for me. This is one that keeps me up late at night, just laying in bed, like, what is the best song of all time? What's my favorite song? And in many ways, I don't like this question because I don't like being just narrowed down to one thing. And we talked about this in philosophy today. I'm very much a skeptic. And then I just start questioning, oh wait, is this really my favorite song? Is this the best song? But off the top of my head right now, recently, a song called Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel is my favorite song.
go on, explain it.
So it's kind of classical in a way because there's, for 3/4 of the song, it's just the piano playing with Art Garfunkel singing, and his vocals are extremely emotional, very, very, what's the word? He has an angelic voice. Yeah. And then the end of the song comes along, and there's violins and cellos come in, and like this big, I don't know what instrument it is. It's like a drum, but maybe like a marching drum, or I don't know. But it makes this really loud noise that adds to the epic like drama of the drama of the song, and it made me cry. I'm just being straight up honest. When he's singing the last bit, and he's singing his lungs out, and his voice is like so just aesthetically pleasing, I just cried. Like I wasn't belting like tears like my mum just died, but I shed a couple tears. I was like, wow, this is really good.
I think that goes with the whole music can bring out emotions that not even classical music in this situation, just music in general can really bring out emotions and make you feel things.
I mean, also if you look at it from a literature point of view, the meaning of the lyrics were quite deep as well. But yeah, we won't get into like metaphor, simile, but yeah. What about you, Roman?
You're so deep and analytical.
What is your give me my ammo?
Nah, it's either one or two.
Yeah.
Number one, I Need a Hero, the Shrek 2 version. Because that is such a good song, dude. That is such a good song.
Wait,
in every way imaginable.
Wait, I want to hear the second one
It
first.
emits emotion so much, but in complete opposite of yours. And the sheer rawness in that singing by the fairy godmother. It is... You do need a hero.
Is that by Bonnie Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the Shrek 2 version. No, fairy godmother.
Why specifically Shrek 2?
And then it makes you think of the gingerbread man, the Mungo. And I don't know, it gets me. It's just my entire childhood there.
It's just like nostalgic if you ever hear it.
So
it's
not...
And you have to sing along to it. That's the thing.
So its whole association to Shrek is what's contributed towards...
Nostalgia and just the sheer energy from that song. It's either that one, or the more realistic one is probably like By the Way from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
By the way. Alright, what about that?
Or, well, I derive my music more from like personal attachment.
Go on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just connect to what the guy's singing about.
So it's the
what
lyrics.
Is he singing about?
It's just By the Way. I tried to be there and stuff like that. Yeah.
By the way,
It's like, how can you not agree? And plus, the bass in there is so manly.
Oh, here it is. So
guitar.
the bass.
Yeah,
is
the
what
bass.
you like.
I'm a bass addict. Straight up. I think you are too.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Very
we're,
good.
we're both bass addicts now. Every song, do you have the thing where every song you hear, you can only hear the bass?
I immediately go to
that.
listen to the bass. I just hit,
I'm listening to a
Bad
song.
guy.
Bad guy.
I'm listening to a song or whatever. That instantly I go, oh, it's a nice bass line.
Dude, I do it all the time.
Yeah, that's it. And then next thing will be the drums, and that's it. Yeah.
Drums are pretty
From
good.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What is it about the bass in this song? Is it just is he slapping in this one?
No. It's just fast. It's fast plucking on just the up part. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but it's not slapping, but it goes from slow to just fast to raw, and then it
The thing I like. Do you want to go?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, what about that song? Just really like the first time you heard it made you think, this is amazing.
Oh wait. What about you, Karam? The first time you heard whatever that song was. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time you heard yours. Okay.
That song, it's only piano, and it starts off like really, really soft. Most of the song is quite like emotional, and at the very beginning there's like a really, really long riff of piano like going down down a scale.
Ooh.
And it just, I don't know, it just feels like Franz Liszt felt such an emotional, it's called Love Dream in English, and it just feels like the composer Franz was feeling such raw emotion, and was just like, I think maybe it was to do with a romance or something, maybe he got together with someone or something, married someone, I'm not sure, but you could just really tell that it was just emotional and good.
So for you, it's the emotion, pretty much.
Yeah, and just like it just sounded really aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. So for me as well, it's the emotion made evident by me crying. What about you, Roman? What was the initial thing about By the Way that made you go, "This is my favorite song"?
Oh, it's not favorite song. It's more of what it's done to me now. Like, because I'm a ultimate biggest fan of Western Australia, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And when I first heard that song, it was one of the first I heard, and I just went, wow, these guys are pretty good. and then it's just from there that a love grew. But yeah, it's other things that are happening in my life as well that sort of spoke to me that music never leaves you, no matter what. Like, previous relationships or whatnot, they come and go, but at the end of the day, music's still there for you.
I like that. That's nice. I never thought about it.
Wow, that's interesting.
The
What
thing.
about-
You go.
No,
No.
No, I was thinking of just a completely new topic that I was just like, how does music work with deaf people?
All right, can I just
Yeah,
comment?
no.
All right, no, we'll get into that.
That's what I was.
Yeah, so the thing I like about Flea in Red Hot Chili Peppers, he plays the bass like he's playing like an electric guitar.
Okay.
I find at times. I don't know if you've really picked up on that when analysing the music, if you do so.
No.
But I find at times he plays the bass like he's playing electric. And
But I don't have the electric guitar.
and
knowledge
the
yet.
the electric player, who's the first guy? Frusciante.
Hello Slovak was the first one. Frusciante was the...
Frusciante, then this current guy, yeah. Flea playing the bass like an electric guitar, and then whoever it is playing the electric guitar like an electric guitar. They play in chemistry with each other,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting, because it's so boring sometimes just hearing a bass being played, just playing the root
just
note
down,
of each chord.
down,
Just-
down,
and then-
down,
yeah.
down, down.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, just wait.
Actually, no, I kind of agree with you there. Yeah, no, I kind of
Yeah.
see that.
like in, I don't know why, but the
I
first thing
wouldn't-
that comes to my head,
yeah.
Californication. I sound like such a fake plastic, fan, like, ooh, California. Yeah, it plays, Flea plays the bass like he's playing riffs on an electric guitar, which is cool.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know why, but people are so scared of bringing bass to the forefront because it's not loud enough. But that's what they did differently, is they actually embraced it. And they took it like an electric guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put it at the forefront of the music instead of being just hidden away at
In
the
the
back
background, just
of
to
many
add
composers.
tone.
Yeah.
So what are you saying about?
So what's your idea? There,
No, I just when I heard you say music never leaves you, that just made me think of the relationship deaf people have to music and how they'd experience music.
Well, I mean, there's you can be partially deaf. They can hear slightly, but it's hard to.
So
make
what
it
do you
come
mean
out.
about?
But there's completely deaf.
yeah, no, it's
So
just
completely deaf.
like
I
music
guess.
never leaves you. Well, then has it just completely left? Is it still? Is music would music be a part of the lives of deaf people? Do you think?
Wait, have they been deaf their whole life?
Yeah.
Or?
Just deaf people.
So now
So-
this is a hypothetical.
Yeah. So what do you mean?
I just wondering, because we're talking so much
They
about.
have no concept of any
Yeah,
sound.
just
So
talking about
they
music
could
so
feel
much in general.
vibrations.
What
From
does
a
music
speaking
mean to
to
deaf
touching, you
people?
can feel the do 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 do.
Oh.
I'm just wondering, what is music? How does our relation? How does deaf people's relationship with music work? Like, is there one? Do you think?
I've never met a deaf
I'm
person.
not deaf myself, so I wouldn't be able to answer
I can't
that.
speak on behalf of the deaf community.
No, I was just curious.
It's kind of
We
psychology.
probably have
yeah.
to get a deaf person on.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of chromesthesia?
I have
What's
not.
that?
It's like the condition where when you associate sounds with color,
Yeah.
and apparently some deaf people have that, but
Whoa.
it's weird.
Sound with color, so
like
you'll
it-
hear blue.
So like when a sound it happens to them, because they can't hear it, it's just like associated with a color. So like I don't know, like
Whoa.
closing the door, you like see that little blue, or you like your eyes will like feel like they're seeing
That's
blue.
so cool.
That's really interesting.
It's rare, but it's cool to think about.
Wow.
I like it.
Just think about that
Okay.
for a moment. Just you're looking at a grey wall, and you just you hear grey.
Oh yeah, that reminded me of something where I saw some artists on the internet, and they said that they paint songs. So I think they've got what you were talking about, or how when they hear music they associate it with colors. And so this person, whenever they'd hear a song or that they really enjoyed, they would paint what they would see in their eyes to like visually represent music.
I feel that so much. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, they're really interesting. The paintings looked really good, and you could, when I saw them, when I saw like the song related to which painting,
Yeah.
I kind of could see the relationship between like the colors used and like how they drew it to the song.
What do you mean?
And
Explain.
so like the sad songs, there'd be lots of like
Blue,
cool colors. I
yeah.
think blue. I'm not sure. And like intense songs would have like jagged
Red.
lines in red,
Yeah.
and like just seemed really intense. Just like that, it was really interesting.
Yeah.
See, like music's relation, like music conceptualized.
That is an interesting thing, because everyone. You guys. Well, Nathan, you're not the most musical here.
Nope.
Yeah. But when you listen to a song, do you like visualize the music you're hearing?
Yeah.
No. I don't.
Well,
Roman. Yeah.
Yeah, of
So you
course.
do, yeah.
Like on what level? Like what he's talking about? You see it being played out, or
Yeah, you can see it being played out in your
yeah,
head, like
of course.
What you mean? Like
It's
you
an-
see the person playing the instrument?
no, the it's hard to explain, but it's like
the essence of the music.
the-
Do
yeah, the-
you feel?
do you feel the notes and the sound of the synthesizer, or the can you see it all like in your head?
Or do
The
you
only note I can recognize off the top of my head is a bass D from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
No, it's more like when you hear a song, do you just understand
Just
what?
a bass D.
Yeah.
Just
A bass guitar D, just going down. I could recognize that in a song. That's it.
I think Damien meant more when you hear a song, do you just understand it at like an intimate level?
No.
It's kind of hard to explain.
What about
and
you,
it's,
Rowan?
yeah, Rowan.
You said
yeah,
yeah.
I'd reckon. Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's about it.
Wait, so
Yeah, I think-
talk about that favorite song of yours.
Oh yeah, let's get back to that.
How would that?
I Need a
What about
Hero?
I Need a Hero by Shrek too. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, which one was it? Which
I don't know which.
Which one would you feel you have a more intimate connection?
Well, that kind of takes the assumption that better music makes you feel is more intimate. Is
Or
that
it's
true?
subjective to the person.
Yeah.
Of course.
What? So
Okay,
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Probably the By the Way one. Although some stuff in their first album and the later half really gets me in the emotional state because it's really slow and nice.
Red Hot Chili Peppers' first album gets
No,
you.
no,
in the-
not the
oh,
first one,
sorry.
the latest one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm about to say, back in the day, they were
No,
just
no,
like
no. That was so good though.
just doing drugs,
Yep.
slapping the bass. Yeah.
Okay, so what was the question?
What was the question?
No.
Do you have an intimate connection with your songs?
I swear I already talked about that.
Yeah.
All right, next topic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Karam, as a musical, a miso, I don't know what to call you.
Prodigy?
Have you ever thought
Prodigy.
about creating music?
No, wait.
Or
No.
you know, I've thought about it, but then
Yeah.
the thing is, the thing that just makes me just discouraged is
Mm.
the fact that when I play like let's think about if I was going to make a classical song, there is so much skill required from the person who creates it, like the composer.
Yeah.
And they've trained, but not even that. They just know what they're doing. They know how to fully express all those emotions in music.
Mm.
And I just feel if I ever did that, all my songs would just be worse. I don't know.
Would it just be bad?
Yeah, I'm just too. I'm just not too scared to try it. I guess. I've
Why
never because I don't know. It's just the knowing that if I made a song,
So if you were to make a song, it'd be classical,
probably
or like,
maybe.
yeah, or like classical-esque,
Classical S.
maybe a bit jazz.
Yeah, maybe a bit. Oh, I could do jazz actually, but it just feels whenever I hear other people's music that's really good, it just sounds like something that I'd never
Think
even
about.
think about.
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
you'd
feel
never
that.
even have the capacity to have a song like that.
Yeah,
Like-
definitely. God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. Shout out to Sam French. He's a massive fan of the Beach Boys, I know. And Adam as well. Brian Wilson composed the song. What were you saying about? Yeah, I would never thought to play a D over A. That's just the first thing Brian Wilson does. And probably the chord changes are probably the most inventive and beautiful chord change I've ever seen in a song. And yeah, so that thing I would never think about using chords in that way to make that song.
Yeah.
So I feel with you on that, in that respect. But yeah, I mentioned this on an earlier podcast. I was going to make an album over the last holidays, but it never happened because I didn't have any equipment to record it, and like if I'm going to record an album, I want to do it right. You know, I don't want it to be sounding terrible. But yeah, I know where I'm going with this.
Segue time.
Segue. All right, this next segment of the podcast is called.
I had a good segue.
Okay, you go.
Okay, segue.
Vincent
segue.
van Gogh was apparently a Karam Thethy man. He was affected with it.
What was it? Was it
The color sound thing.
Sounds to color?
Yeah, they reckon he was affected with it.
Yeah, well then it's probably like people who have that would be
Didn't he
better-
cut off his own ear?
Yeah.
Yes.
He got a bit crazy.
Was it just for attention or did
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, but that's just interesting.
Just
how
so
it
he
could go
could draw
like
the
both
painting?
ways. Like maybe he just instead of seeing.
Was he deaf?
No.
I don't think so.
He cut off his ear because he apparently had psychotic episodes.
Oh.
So he just cut it off because...
I'm pretty
what
sure
he
his
wanted to
work
do.
never got appreciated until long after he was.
Yeah,
dead.
after he died. Yeah,
Oh.
that was the whole thing with
That's
Van
interesting.
Gogh.
Damn. Unlucky.
No, but I get how he, like, just him being able to see when he hears things would probably like he maybe with some of his paintings he probably
Maybe was
made
it a
it from
Starry
hearing
Night
something.
or that
Yeah.
one with?
Oh,
the
did he?
storm?
Oh.
Wait, what song was that? Was that like?
Oh, that's interesting.
Was that Holding Out for a Hero? By,
To think that he could have heard a beautiful song and that made him
Maybe
paint
just
a Starry Night.
ding some bells or something.
was he hearing some
The
classical?
12 o'clock
some Bach?
chimes.
Yeah, maybe he hit his cat. Could you imagine someone like just bangs their desk? Oh, that was an orange. Smashing a plate on the floor. Yep, that was a purple. That was a purple.
Oh, did you also hear like the latest studies? Like blind people don't see black; they just see nothing.
That's really interesting.
What does nothing?
No, so
this
I
isn't music
I
related,
searched
though.
up on the
It doesn't.
you know
really-
what tangent
Wasn't
I
it?
said-
Wasn't it a segue?
I searched up a bit on
Yeah.
it, and it said that to understand what blind people see, it's not black, because when you see black, it's actually just seeing the insides of your eyelids. What you actually, to better try to conceptualize what they see, is trying to look at what's behind you, trying to think about what you're seeing behind you, because you're not seeing black, you're just seeing nothing. Like, it just isn't there.
No,
Like, it's not black abyss, it's just not there.
Oh, that's.
I read a
that's
similar
weird.
thing, but another way to conceptualize it is to close your left eye, and then looking through your left eye, that's what you see.
So looking like in this, what's going on here is
Yeah,
what
so
they
like,
see.
if you just close your left eye,
Yeah.
because you can see out your right eye,
Yeah.
your brain like neglects the left eye, and then that's what a blind. Apparently, that's
So what
it's
what you see here?
like. Well, you can't see. That's the thing.
No, I can see some like dark, like some dark something, closing my left eye.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Alright,
This-
what
this
was your
ne-
segue you were saying?
This next segment of the
before?
podcast is called 10-second fun facts with us. This is where we have 10 seconds to tell you guys one fun fact about us. Since Karam is here, yeah, I know I kind of just pulled this out on you. Since Karam's here, we're going to increase it to 15 seconds.
You guys can
So-
start.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
15 seconds.
All right, 15 seconds
Alright.
on the clock, Nathan.
Three.
I haven't thought about this myself, so this might, I don't know how this is going to go, but
All right.
Are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
I have a double jointed thumb. Go.
I have lots of friends.
Go, Karam.
I'm Aquarius.
All right, Roman, you can't lie 2 weeks in a row. Man.
That one was true, I swear. Maybe not a lot, but
So what's Aquarius?
Sorry, dude.
Sorry.
It's a
that's the
star
star sign.
Oh.
What are you? What are you?
Cancer, I think.
That's the bad one.
You like
I remember
just
it-
make it in the cutoff again.
I was born on 21st. Oh,
That's what that
My
was.
crutches
That
fell
was the
over.
crutches. Yeah, don't worry about
I was
that.
born 21st of June, so that's.
Oh no, 21st. That's
Is that?
Gemini. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
How do you know this?
how do you know
My
this?
mom's a Gemini.
Okay.
I know that 22 is the cutoff for all
22nd of June.
horoscopes. And then,
Oh.
yeah, I'm in the next
What about
one.
you, Roman?
I'm Libra. I'm balance of the universe,
I'm
like
Cancer.
Thanos. I'm balanced.
That's an endgame
just-
spoiler, dude.
I'm just balanced like Thanos in his glove.
All right. Anyway, back to music.
Okay.
Mm.
Another question we wanted to talk about was the philosophy question, which
Oh.
was...
Oh yeah, no, it's
Was it-
philosophy. It's
Does music have an intrinsic...
Maybe you should let him say.
Yeah, alright, Karam, you say it.
is there an intrinsic quality to music that makes it good, or do we think that it's just all subjective to the person?
Alright, what do you think about that, boys?
Shouldn't we
Okay,
define
first
what
of all, let's
intrinsic means?
let's
Okay.
define intrinsic.
Intrinsic means...
Because there might be some people listening who don't know. Definitely not anyone in here.
Yeah, it definitely does. Alright, it's a value or an attribute to a thing which defines its value.
So just
No, I
what-
just said value
so
twice.
it makes itself.
It makes
unique.
itself good.
Oh, so if you got it, then you're good.
Its
Yeah.
value is in and of itself.
So the
Yeah.
value isn't in the eyes of the beholder, or the listener in this case, it's in the value of the song itself.
Okay.
Alright, what do you think about that?
So a bit of a loaded question.
Surely this would play out as it has this intrinsic value that makes it good, and we as listeners recognize that when we listen.
Okay.
Yeah?
So what would make you compare listening to, I don't know, say any old like some random person you know playing some rock song, and compare that to a song by like Red Hot Chili Peppers. What would make their song so much better than the other one?
What do you mean by what song? What random song?
Just any random rock song.
A song that
that's
you don't
average.
like versus a song that you do like.
Why did you change your mind about
Alright, so
liking
I think there's kind of two ways you look at this.
It might be context, you know?
it?
Maybe,
Go
alright,
on.
3 ways maybe.
Yeah.
The first way I
Because
look at
like
it...
you know the artist, and you
Yeah.
know, like for instance, we know, like you know some of the people in the band. You know who's actually doing the bass, the drums,
Definitely,
or whatever,
yeah.
and you think, oh yeah, I like what he's doing there.
You'll like it more than
It's-
a
it's-
song that you don't know the
Yeah,
artist.
it's more than
Yeah.
just a sound.
Mm.
It's deeper because you actually know someone is actually putting in work to
So
do it.
is that then merited to the song, or is that
I mean, I
independent of the
suppose.
song? I guess it's independent of the song. It's more the bond you have with the artist and the band.
Yeah,
Mm.
that makes
So that
music
should
good.
be arbitrary in the sense,
Well,
shouldn't it? Or should it?
I'm just saying some stuff. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
know.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, it's like with an artist, like what if we had like a computer generating classical songs, and it could just spit out something that sounded like
So when you
what-
go see classical, it's just a computer.
Yeah, no, it was something that was like similar, that it learnt all of the qualities of what a classical song, what constitutes it, like chord changes and all the stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we heard a song like that compared to a song by an actual composer, do you think that we would find the composer's song to be better?
Well, if you close
Or
your
would you
eyes
find it
and
to
you
be
don't know
exactly
it's
the same?
by a computer,
Yeah, if you just heard the songs, would you feel that the composer has a better, it sounds just better,
I really dislike artificial bass lines. They
artificial?
make me really annoyed
How can you tell?
because it's too perfect. You can
Yeah, that's
just
the
you can
thing.
just tell when it's a computer.
you want. Yeah, I'd probably
You-
choose the composer because the song sounds more human.
Yeah.
These humans aren't like to the millisecond in time. They're off by a couple, I don't know, nanoseconds or whatever. It's pretty much like, it's almost perfect. It's like 99% good.
It's creative.
But it's not 100%, and 100% is bad because it sounds, like Roman said, artificial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it's artificial, it just takes away
There's
the
no
whole
risk
human
there.
element of
Yeah,
the song.
also, I think with that, a computer generated thing would never do something that's never been done before. Like,
Yep.
they'd only do based on what all the songs they've ever heard before. You wouldn't get creativity of just some really like what you were saying with the Beach Boys song about
Right, just
how
say Brian Wilson. It wasn't
Brian
really
Wilson.
the Beach Boys. It was just Brian Wilson.
Wilson's
but
song,
yeah.
how he was incredible because you'd never even thought about that,
Using the chords.
using those specific chords because
in
you've
that
never
way,
heard it.
and the bass notes he uses.
Because you've never
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
people use that before.
Yeah.
Like the computer generated thing wouldn't think to do that. They just do what is standard.
Standard pop stuff that gets your attention.
So would you say
Right.
it's also creativity? So like the creativity and the human mistake, or the human,
The risk taking involved with actually creating something.
yeah.
What do you
And-
mean?
Well, can't
Wait.
you teach a computer musical theory, and then from there
Yep.
it can produce masterpieces by itself?
But it won't be.
But it would all be based on what it's heard before.
Yeah, exactly. So when someone creates something new, like an entirely new genre,
Yeah.
they take a risk initially, a creative risk, because
Yeah.
they don't know if anyone's going to like it.
Yeah.
But they do it anyway, and they release it out there. People like it, people don't.
Wait, so Damien, what were we saying? There were three.
Back to intrinsic.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first way I look at a song, or listen to it rather, or look at it, I know. I look at the music and I listen to the music and what's going on musically, the actual musical theory. The second thing is the emotion that you get off of the song, and then Roman's third kind of thing was putting forward was the context of the band playing it. Bless me. And the yeah. So what was I talking about?
The connection to the person who's actually playing.
Yeah, so those three things you think you've kind of got going on.
Mm-hmm.
In order for it to be intrinsic, the response you get off of it, that isn't really intrinsic, is it? It's more the song has a value, or is it the song has a value within it that gives you that response?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'd kind of relate this to that computer-generated idea thing with music that we really enjoy. We comparing it to the computer, that shows what us, like the differences between us and what would be created. Our ability, just understanding the emotions of the composer I think is something intrinsic to music, because I'm not sure, or do you think there's any songs that are just made because they're there and they don't actually express anything from the person who created it?
Me by Taylor Swift, that new song. Have you heard of that?
No, I didn't listen to it. I'm sorry.
No.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
The alphabet song. That wasn't created with expression.
Yeah,
or
it's
purpose.
expression of comedy, isn't it?
What, the A, B, C?
Oh, you mean
that
A, B,
one.
C? Oh,
That is created with a purpose.
It's-
to teach.
but no, but that's not
Educate.
that's not an expression of
Educate.
emotion. It's
Well, I don't know. You
It's
could
just
argue that.
education.
Well, then you could argue that that's not even music. Then. I don't
technically
know. Would
this
you say
this
that's
is music. Technically, that's music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
okay.
so
Argument.
I think
Yeah.
the interesting thing about getting the intrinsic thing
Yeah.
is to what point does this doing
Whoa.
this
Just like, a beat that goes like dun,
hearing that
dun,
what
dun,
point does
dun,
it become
yeah.
I think
You
to
guys-
answer the trick to the kid answering this question
Yeah.
is that between like doing stuff like that and hearing a song,
Yeah.
at what point do you think it actually turns into an actual song or just a noise? And what unique qualities about the song makes it a song opposed to just being a random noise that you
think-
hear?
You have to. It has to have notes.
Yes.
Or at
This-
least-
this is a note.
That is
Yeah.
technically, yeah. You could be like, oh, that's like a G sharp or whatever. Yeah.
You guys are audio spiking when you do that, so
Okay, that's
try to
not
keep it to a minimum.
Sorry.
Sorry.
To be honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
What's the
but
difference
I don't-
between a noise and music?
Yeah, what do you think, Roman? Do you understand
A
my
music,
question?
you've
but-
composed it and you've put it together with the aim of trying to,
Yeah, you have a
of-
purpose with it.
of getting a response out of the listener.
So do you think an intrinsic quality of music is that its ability? Is it its ability to, or if the audience has a emotional response to it, or is it because the audience hasn't? So like the noise of the cup hitting the desk wouldn't make the audience think anything, but then a really nostalgic song would like take you to your past or something like that. Would you say that's what makes music? If that makes sense. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is difficult.
I don't.
Do you
Music
guys
is
want to
like,
draw your conclusions?
what time are we at?
We're at 45.
45.
No,
Yeah,
let's keep
okay.
going.
Alright, just
Yeah.
finish off your final
Yeah.
comment on
I mean-
if you understood what I say.
Yeah, music is like the airplane, Music is an airplane. This is a difficult one.
Alright,
I'm not
I'll
gonna lie.
take over. There's one thing I want to say. Is music able to have an intrinsic value to it in the first place, or does it need the human to assign it that intrinsic value?
Oh,
and if
good.
that is the case, then
makes
is it really
sense.
intrinsic?
That makes sense.
Because
Like, if
if
you
the
showed,
human
like,
was, if no human ever listened to Carly Rae Jepsen, hey, I just met you. I don't know what it's called.
Uh,
Call Me Maybe.
Call Me Maybe, yeah.
Well, obviously, yeah. Would that have an intrinsic value of being good? Assuming that it is a good song to begin with. But yeah, would it have an intrinsic value of being good?
Oh, that's interesting.
What if you showed a song to a monkey and if it danced,
Yeah.
that means it was good?
Oh, true. If we got...
Because
Because
Because it would
if
make-
the
no,
monkey
feel like
if the
happy,
monkey can feel
exciting
happy
emotion.
by the happy song, the dancing song, that means you've gained the core.
Alright, then
essence
let's
of
take
dance.
all animals, all life out of
I think
out of the
okay.
picture.
I think
think-
monkeys are a bit.
I think
They're
that...
too close to home.
Can a song have an
We-
intrinsic value without a life form?
I think that's a really interesting question,
Yeah.
and I think how I'd answer it is no. I think lots of it all comes back to evoking a response of like emotions, and you can't have that with
Human
non-alive things. Like
Yeah.
even with monkeys,
that's what
they
music
evoke
is.
a response. All it is it's evoke a, I don't know, complex, interesting response that you enjoy is what.
So it is possible for a song to have an intrinsic value that makes it good.
No, I think the intrinsic value was created by... No, actually, I think that intrinsic value is... Yes, I do think that, because it's common to animals as well as humans, even though animals have never heard the music. As Roman was saying, a monkey would start dancing to a song it enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I think there is that ability to make the monkey feel like happy and exciting.
Yeah, or you could probably make it feel mellowed out.
Alright then. How about... We've kind of just taken this all from like an emotional point of view. Like what songs get us in the feels, you know? What about songs that make you like hyped up? Or like songs that make you laugh?
I
or
get that,
are
but
they
it's still an emotional response. It's like it's making you feel excited and
yeah,
happy.
yeah,
I think
Most
it all-
Beautiful Girl in the Room by Flight of the Conchords. That's the funny
I haven't
song.
heard that song.
You haven't heard that one? That's such a funny song, dude.
So are we saying that some emotions, when it comes to music, songs that
depends on what you
evoke
wanna feel.
more intimate, sad, or maybe not sad, but like more
Sad sells. Like,
intimate
yeah.
emotions are more having of more value than songs that are like
Or okay,
one dance. By
obviously,
Drake.
I think it is dependent on the person. Like maybe they just hate like sad songs, but I think the more complex songs that feel like they're trying to get at something instead of just feeling really forced would be the better songs. Like the more complex.
let's just say that again.
doesn't
So the
feel like
better
too
song
much.
is the song that
Complex and reaches for the heart.
The most
evokes a more complex emotional response.
yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
And like that, like how the cup hitting the table, that would just make you be like, oh, like that was annoying. It wouldn't actually get like a complex response as to how like a classical song would
Alright,
make you respond.
I like that. I think we've done pretty well without delving into musical theory. So,
Yeah.
alright, nice one. You wanted to ask Karam a
Oh,
question?
okay. This is a little end question we do here at the
Yeah.
After Hours podcast. If it's too much, then you don't have to answer. There is a level of, well, this is far too personal. I don't really.
It is a pretty
It
intimate
is.
question.
It is intimate. It's personal. You're going to be putting yourself out there for everyone to hear, and I just want you to be fully aware of that. So yeah, here's the question: if you could be any component of an aircraft, what aircraft component would you be, and why?
That's very thought provoking. I'd be that black box.
That's a good one.
That like record when there's a
yeah,
crash.
the black box.
Yeah, because that'd just be like just such a blast to be the black box. And
You
I
get to
probably
hear
wouldn't-
everything.
And then like if the plane crashes, I'll be the one that survives. That everyone checks.
Well, probably.
Yeah, you'll be the
Probably.
first thing people want to
Yeah.
find.
Everyone's looking for you.
And
Karam's rescued.
Yeah, like if I was
first.
selling like the wing or something, it'd just crash and then the wing would break and you'd just be sad.
Yeah.
Like the black box is just a great time.
So that's the cool thing about being the left engine. You explode with beauty.
True.
Well, that has been an After Hours podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for having me.
Dude,
Thank you, Karam.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being on, Karam. There was one thing I wanted to say. What was it?
What was it? I don't
I can't
know.
remember. Oh yeah, let us know how you think this went. If we did bad, tell us. Because at the end of the day, this is for you. It is for the audience. We're not doing this just for ourselves, I don't think.
Yeah, everyone's enjoyment.
Yeah. So
What do you guys think of doing a theme instead of doing just.
I think it allowed for more in-depth discussion. That's for sure.
Which do you guys prefer?
I'm gonna have to look over the audio.
But yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Get excited for St. Mark's Day. Bye bye.